Thank you for coming. Thank you to ArtsQuest. Thank you, Jacob. Thank you, Anthony DeSanctis, for having us here for the Hip Hop Movie Club film series. We got a real special one tonight. We've got Louder Than a Bomb. You knew that. But we also have even specialer treat. We've got Baby the Poet from Tribes and Vines.
Yes, give it up.
I've been taught while growing up that when nature speaks, I need to listen to my intuition. That's why I find it funny when people swear I'm in control, but subconsciously I just fall into submission. When these these laws are being written, it got me so clouded when making decisions that I no longer see in the science. Now I'm just trusting in the fiction. You want to know what else is missing? Well, ChatGPT has been taking over my critical thinking. Let's not forget to mention that when I use these AI services, they're replenishing our freshwater systems, but it's hidden. So Microsoft that I can't even see when bills are being passed through certain gates, that it blocks out my father's son's mission. My people, I need to pay attention. It's no big secret that these warehouses are being paid to bioengineer our chicken that is put in canned noodle soups, sold in bulk in grocery stores, and then fed to the youth. Because first they create our hunger, then they take our culture, lastly they patent our roots. Let's not forget that even marketing teams will deem poison as holy as long as it's branded as truths. Because there ain't no soul in the food they be fixing. There's no elders passing recipes down or seasonings. There's no souls in the kitchen. Only wires and syringes. You want to know what that's called? It's called corporate addiction, because they have us hemmed up by corporate chains. You know what it's called? It's called tech, food, and prisons. It's all the same game with all the same players. They just fall underneath different names. But their agenda will always remain the same: to keep us dumb, sick, and addicted to pain. My apologies for revealing some of these uncomfortable truths from being today America's modern day slaves. Boom. Thank you so much for letting me run that back. Again, running poetry, it's memorizing is key. So for this right here, this piece, not this poem piece, but this is for the recording right here, right now on YouTube. I'm just letting all artists know memorization is not easy, okay? It is not easy, even if you wrote it down. Now going forward, so I do this thing now. I memorize poems, and then I always, I write a new poem, and I read it off my phone just so people could know that it's okay with the whole memorization thing. I know as poets, even me, I was one of those people that, you gotta memorize. But honestly, reading off of a phone or through your book can be just as impactful, as long as you really mean it. So going forward, this is my last poem, but I felt this poem in my heart, and I really feel like people need to hear it. So this poem is called Our Children Fall Strong. The government says it protects the children, and the laws don't lie. It's just hard to explain because they don't speak plain. And behind every piece of shady paperwork, there's always some dirty, smelly chains. A form, an affidavit, no court and no case, just one signature and someone else could take your place. They call it care, but I call it a quiet erasure of parents, of rights, of the line between protector and predator. It gets thinner at night. They sealed the Epstein files, but they open new doors for strangers to cradle kids without knocking on yours. So tell me, how does safety come without oversight? How do you protect a child from getting trafficked at an airport in mid-flight? I've seen stories end up in good intentions. Boarding schools, it forced the rules, and they all dressed up in dishonorable mentions. But now this, and this is the plan, to let anyone walk away with a child as long as they look like a profitable man. I've seen too many headlines, too many girls go missing, too many black and brown bodies get called runaways instead of being called or labeled as victims. So don't you dare pass me a pen, and don't tell me to just sign it right here, because I know what a backdoor looks like when a coward smells fear. You don't hand out power like it's candy without a catch, and I won't stay silent while they draw the last match. I'd rather gas this whole building down and watch them burn up into flames. This is the moment that we rise as a wall, because if this law falls wrong, then our children fall strong. Thank you very much. Again. These poems, I'm trying to figure out what is going on here in the Lehigh Valley. It does not get talked enough, child trafficking. It does not get talked enough that babies are getting eaten. It does not get talked enough. And we need to scream this to the mountaintops. I don't have no kids, and I feel like I care more about kids than some of these parents, and that breaks my heart. So with that being said, if it's one thing that you learn from these poems is that we need to be advocates, we need to be vigilant, and we need to protect our future generations. Thank you very much for your hearts. Thank you very much for letting me enter your minds, and I hope you get home safe. And thank you so much, Hip Hop Club. I thank you so much for this opportunity, and ArtsQuest.
Woo! How long have you been doing spoken word, doing poetry?
I got introduced to poetry, I want to say, during my high school years. Okay. So probably around like 9th, 10th grade. I started doing it professionally, I want to say around 23.
Right on.
Yeah, 10 years now, I'm 33 years old.
So how did you get into it?
School.
School, okay.
Yeah, school, okay. And going through trauma, sometimes you need an outlet.
Yeah,
and I was finding outlets through the streets, getting arrested, and then I was like, you know what? I think I need to put it into something else. That's how that went.
Very good. Were there people that you looked up to, heroes in poetry, spoken word?
Well, not like, well, of course, Maya Angelou, but most definitely, like, it was mainly like artists. So my main ones, I draw energy from R&B. So my main ones was like The Temptations, Sam Cooke, Chris Brown is a big inspiration to me. So yeah, those were the artists that I looked up to. Maya Angelou is a big one though. Like the way she describes words and puts on for women, I could definitely respect that 100%.
Very good. So, where can we find you on social media? Any venues you have going to be at? Any events coming up?
I don't have any events coming up lately. I've been taking some me time, and I think that that is important as artists. Sometimes we get burned out, and especially local artists going around to so many different places. The Lehigh Valley doesn't have a lot of places to actually perform at, so I would go to Philadelphia, Washington, D.C., New York City, all of that stuff to perform. Then I started Tribes and Vibes, and it's kind of hard getting venues. A lot of people don't speak about that as creatives, especially hosts and business owners. You know, a lot of people look at it in the aspect of an artist, right? Just going to perform. But I got tired as an artist not having places to perform. So with that being said, I took a little bit of a break because it was starting to be a struggle, bumping heads, trying to find places here in the Lehigh Valley and people not understanding what spoken word poetry is. So that's why I'm super grateful that you guys even reached out to me for this, and I'm super grateful that you're even putting poetry at the forefront.
Tell us about Tribes and Vibes.
Okay, so Tribes and Vibes started in 2021. It started we were the first company that actually opened to the community when the pandemic hit, when the doors opened. We were the first event that happened. So we started there at 2021, and we had a whole bunch of sold out shows. Yeah, That's how it started. It started thanks to ArtsQuest in the sense of they gave me the platform, right? And
We love ArtsQuest.
yeah, ArtsQuest is they do things. You know what I mean? They allow opportunities, and I'm grateful for that. Super grateful.
So where can we find Tribes and Vibes, you on socials?
Well, you can find Baby the Poet, just like that, Baby the Poet on Instagram. And you can find Tribes and Vibes at Tribes, the letter N, Vibes 2021 on Instagram, just like that. And you can find Tribes and Vibes on Facebook, Tribes and Vibes, just like that.
Right on.
All right.
All right. Nice.